Welcome back to Kurz Conversations, the show where we bring you real stories and insights from across the wind industry, one voice at a time. Today, I'm excited to introduce someone who brings a global perspective, deep technical knowledge, and a refreshing human touch to everything she does. Lorène, and I'm going to say it
Hi,
wrong.
Robert. How are you?
Good, thank you. Lorène comes to us as a sales engineer from Everaxis. Everaxis is not maybe always in the headlines, but their work is, especially with slip ring systems. They play a very critical role in reliability and performance of wind turbines around the world. Lorène joins us all the way from France, which I'm jealous of, but to share her path into engineering, the importance of listening to field level needs, and how innovation happens when design meets reality. This conversation is going to be about people, about precision, and the power of asking the right questions. Let's get into this. Lorène, welcome to the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Robert. It's a pleasure to be with you today. So let's just talk, and I hope you will have pleasure to listen this podcast.
Awesome. Lorène, let's start. I am always curious when I'm talking to somebody about their story, their history. And that's what I want to know about you. First off, is what kind of led you into engineering? And then what brought you specifically from that engineering aspect? Because there's all these other engineering fields, but you came to the renewable energy space. Tell me about that story.
Yeah, sure. In France, I don't know if the same in the United States, but when you're good at school, you just follow like the general way. You go to the high school, then to the college, and you just follow the scientific subjects. But more than that, I've always been curious about how things work. Engineering felt like a natural path. It's hands-on, it's technical, and it allows you to solve real world problems. And this is what I really liked. At the same time, I've always had a strong environmental consciousness. So when I had the opportunity to work with the renewable energy and to do my study in industrial and like in environmental industry, I knew I wanted to be part of the transition. I think it's really important for us, like the young people, to take part of this transition. So wind energy, especially was really fascinating, like turning a natural resource into a clean power. So when I get this opportunity, I just say yes. I want to be on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I feel very similar. Once I got into the wind space and the renewable energy space, I think, I kind of found my home. I found where I wanted to be for the rest of my professional career. I know, a mentor of mine used to tell me, once you're in wind or once you're in renewables, you don't really leave the industry. You just kind of change your business card, So, and I think that's very, that's where I'm at. I'm never leaving. I just want to, if I ever do change my business card, that's what it'll be. So, you're based in France, which I've been to your office. It was wonderful. I had a great time. But that means you also have this very you work kind of across global markets. How does that international perspective kind of shape your understanding of the wind industry, especially kind of like when you're working with partners in the US, like me?
So yeah, we are based in the Alps in France. So I am French, but I can say like 75% of my customers are not French; they are foreigners. So working internationally is a real asset. You quickly realize that priorities vary from one region to another, for sure. In the US, to be specific, for example, projects tend to be larger, expectations are different, and market dynamics are unique. So it pushes me always to stay flexible, to listen carefully, and to tailor solutions to fit each local context. It's really important if we want to meet all the different requirements for all our different customers.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I working with you guys has been great for us. And when we came there to your facility, it really opened up my understanding of just the breadth of the scope of what you guys actually do. And it was amazing to me. So, one of the things I wanted to touch on too was, as a woman within the engineering and renewable energy space, I'm sure that there has been challenges that you faced. What kind of support helped you to overcome and thrive where you're at?
Oh yeah. Since my end of studies internship in the US, by the way, I've been surrounded by men, both colleagues and clients. Of course, like many women in technical fields, I have moments where I needed to prove myself. You know, when you're surrounded by men, managers, directors, but also just colleagues, where you always have a moment where you're like, uh, do I have my position at the middle of this man? I am really where I have to be. So I've been lucky to have mentors and colleagues who supported me. And over time, of course, I've learned to trust myself and not hold back. So this is all a combination of support and self-confidence that has really helped me grow, I can say. But for sure, yeah. When you want to work in an industrial sector, like engineer, for sure you will be surrounded by men. So better
Hmm.
for a woman to
That's
appreciate to work with men.
yeah, that's awesome. And and I, from everything I've seen, from visiting you, to working with you, you definitely do. I think this board that you have back there says we do hard stuff. I think that's exactly encompassing what you're saying, is that you've done hard stuff, you've worked hard, you've gotten there, and I think that's awesome. No, great. Now I think it's time that we really start to talk about Everaxis. All right, formerly Cobham, but you're Everaxis. So, um, for those who aren't familiar, right? What does Everaxis do? How does that contribute to the onshore? Because over here in the States, we're mostly onshore, right? So, how does that contribute to the onshore wind turbine systems?
That's a good question. It's always something we ask me, my family, my friends. So to explain simply, Everaxis, we design and manufactures high precision electromechanical components, strip ring. So we are specialized in strip rings. What is a strip ring? That a slip ring enable the reliable transfer of signals and power between a rotating and a stationary part. So for Kurz wind, we speak about turbine as industrial body, but we also are present in other industrial fields, so also for the bottling, in the nuclear, and a lot of others. So let's just say we permit this transfer of signal and power between the rotating and stationary part. And most of all, it's an essential component in the wind turbine for your topic exactly.
That's awesome. And for those of you who don't know, they have this wonderful lab on the second floor, and they have slip rings running in there for multiple years without failure. And it is, when if you get a chance to ever go and visit them, I highly recommend it, because it's very an enlightening experience to go in there and see all that. So it's incredible. I loved it. Slip rings are kind of a small yet essential part of the turbine performance. How do you explain their significance to someone outside of the engineering world?
Okay. I often compare them to invisible translators. They allow different parts of the turbine to talk to each other, even while moving. Without them, sensors will not transmit data, commands will not go through, and the turbine could not adjust to changing wind condition. So they're small. Maybe you for common people, they have no idea this is the slip ring we permit to do all this stuff. But we can really say a slip ring is the heart of the system.
Hmm. Definitely. And it's also very. I think it's a sensitive piece of equipment that you've also done well at protecting. From what I've seen and from what I've heard, again, being there with your engineers and seeing the labor that they put into it, it's incredible. So, what are some of the challenges that Everaxis hears from the field level, kind of challenges that you consider while you're developing or maybe advising on slip ring systems? What are some of those challenges that you hear at the field level?
Yeah, field conditions can be challenging. You have humidity, temperature swing, vibration. So all customers have different conditions. So we have to design systems that are robust, reliable, easy to maintain. Each slip ring has different requirements. So we rely heavily on feedback from our customers, from our past experience, and of course, our research and development department, which is always looking to improve and offer high quality for customized solutions. This is a high topic, and we make a big importance on this subject in Everaxis Industries.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, just remember these turbines are operating in farmers' fields. They have turbines that are operating offshore in salt and heavy salt and moisture content. You have turbines operating in extreme cold, extreme heat. All of these things, I know for example, like when we're talking about say a forge unit, right? Your moisture, all right, condensation, these type of things. These are all heavy environmental factors that their slip rings are operating in and operating in consistently in a good way. So, I'm very pleased in like the last 2 or 3 years that we have been partners. We have not had those problems, had people come back and say, oh, well, we're having this, because they have reliably engineered this product from field level advice. So I love that. How are you guys balancing the technical innovation with like long-term reliability? You have some turbines out here in service for 20 plus years. That's a long time, right? How are you balancing that?
Yeah, we can say we're pretty proud of this part. We work closely with clients and partners as we're doing together. Every innovations goes through rigorous testing and high precision qualifications. For the turbine industry, like the qualifications are really important. Also, of course, we use materials that have proven their durability. That's a long time that we're working on, let's say, a strong base. We know and monitor our suppliers. So, like our purchase department knows every supplier. So we also take a big importance of this part. And also, in addition, meticulous in control production process enables highly precise manufacturing. I think, Robert, you saw that when you visit us, but it's a very conscientious work, and it's not like kind of industry with a production line just making like automatic process. So yeah, each man, each woman working in a manufactory is working preciously, taking time, and it's all made by hand. So, but also ensure this, let's say, this long-term reliability. And our goal is to ensure consistent performance over time. So innovation never comes at the cost of reliability. It's always a balance.
And man, I can reiterate like everything you just said. That was one of the key things I took away from being there was one, you had people, it's no automation really. It's doing it by hand. People, quality work by hand. There was this one man in the back. He was very proud of what he was doing. And I was very happy to sit there and just listen to him as he showed us what he was doing, what his team was doing. And, we haven't had a warranty issue. We haven't had somebody come back and say, oh, hey, I got a problem with it. No, we haven't had that. And it's been, I think, 2 or 3 years, so this is a quality product. Like you say, precision made by hand. And you have a process of testing these before they leave, and I always thought that was really, enlightening for me when I went there, to know that the product that I'm pushing, saying, hey, you should buy this. I can say, I've seen it. I know how it's built. It's built correctly. So I always thought that was great. So, thank you. I appreciate your comments there. From your experience, where does the wind industry still have room to improve, maybe in the terms of kind of like supplier operator communications?
So yeah, I think there's still too much siloed communication. In intern, like we always say, communication is the best way to success. But I think also in the external part, communication is the best way to success together. This is a win-win. If we do not speak, we won't improve. Field feedback doesn't always reach the suppliers, and that slows down product improvement. So we need more open, free feedback loops, and so everyone can learn and evolve together. I think let's keep this word together, and communication. It's the best way to just be in a business part to do a win-win.
Exactly, and that's you said something I really like, the win-win. We want. I think you and I and Kurz, Everaxis, we want the customer to win. We also want to win, and there is room to make that a reality. Where Kurz kind of comes in right here with working with Everaxis is we're the ones that are saying, tell us those problems so that we can let Everaxis know this is what direct feedback looks like right here. Is bam, they're saying this is a problem. That wire's not too long. That should be made from something else. That bolt breaks too easy. We need to know that. None of those things, by the way, are I was just ad-libbing there. None of those things have ever come back to me. But I'm just saying we need to know those things. So if people are using Everaxis and you have feedback, it's like, hey, this should be something you should do. That stuff would go from me directly to you guys so that we can improve the product like that, because we want to obviously make things better for the field level guys. How can companies like Everaxis support field technicians and service providers more efficiently, not just through product design, but also through maybe training, documentation, collaboration? How does that kind of look for you? Is there a certain way that people should approach that with Everaxis?
Yeah, totally. So always in the way to always improve and do our best, we really try to go beyond just delivering a product. So we offer clear guides and we try to improve. We speak together about cure guides and we're still working on them. We also made a training session as we already done with the Kurzwin team, and we make ourselves available. Like if you have any problem, any question, we are here to answer you and to help you as much as possible. So the goal is to empower technicians with everything they need and to understand, install, and maintain our system confidently. If we help our customers, for we will make all our chains from our side to do not have after that any problem of maintenance or over. So as much as we help, as much we will not have problem and we'll be happy and the customer will be happy.
Yeah, that's incredible. Every time that we've asked for maybe some sort of drawing or of your product, or we've communicated, we've gotten good solid communication back. We've gotten the drawings that we've asked for to make that available to a customer, so forth and so on. So I think that's the level of support that we have to offer people, and that we're going to continue to offer people as a collaborative team with Kurz and Everaxis. So that's good to know. And I think everybody else, if you have questions, you can come to Kurz. We will talk to Everaxis, or if you really feel you need to go to Everaxis direct, okay, do what you got to do. But they will be there to help support you on their product. That's clear in my mind. So there's a good.
Sorry, I just wanted to say like one of our value is like the client satisfaction, So we have excellence, but also customer satisfaction. So as the most we can offer, the most we can help our customer, and like let's say we will check all our tasks. So for us, it's really important to be present, but not just with your product, but also with services.
As a question I ask almost everybody, and I'm going to ask you too. Is there one big misconception that you or oversight that you hear about slip rings, or system reliability with slip rings, that you'd like to clear up? Some problems everybody's like, oh, they this is always an issue, and you're like, no, wait, that's not. Hit me. Tell me what it is.
Yeah, for sure. We have a lot of requests. Like every day, I receive requests. Can you make a slip ring for us? Can I have this same slip ring? I need something to permit me to have my signal from my rotative to my static part. But a common misconception is that all slip rings are interchangeable. So I cannot take one slip ring for you and just give it to my another customer. In reality, every application is unique. Like as we already said, environment. We also have the rotation speed, the signal tap, a lot of we have a lot of constraints that make like application unique. So a poorly matched slip ring can cause major issues, So it's really crucial to define needs precisely from the start. If we can just start to study all the needs of our customers before the perfect way is before the industrial body of our customers. If we are still working on it, it's good. We can work together. We can maybe improve the vision of our customers. Then, of course, sometimes we have just to match the customer's requirement. But if we can define together the needs, we will match let's say the perfection. But the perfection for one customer is not the perfection for another one. So with that, I don't say less often. I say that we don't sell carpet. A slip ring is a small component, but really unique and matching your requirements and not the requirements of another one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would say I've heard it put like, what's utopia? Like someone asked, what's your utopia? Well, that's the best possible outcome. That could be technically very different for each person. So utopia for over here might be different for customer B over here who says, this is my utopia. This is what it looks like. So that's actually really good. All right. Some of my final thoughts here. What keeps this work meaningful for you? What motivates you to stay involved in wind energy and the sibling environment? What motivates you to do that?
That's a good question. I think I can say that what drives me is knowing that what we do has a positive impact. Every turbine will help optimize is producing clean energy. So, and the sector is constantly evolving. So, with exciting technical challenges, innovation. So, this is a mix of purpose and innovation. I think you can say what this is what keeps me going. So, every morning I'm like, okay, I will have a new challenge. I will work on a new project. I will just go on our society with the new challenges. So, yeah, that's a job that you cannot be bored. Like it's not possible.
I couldn't agree more. Setting all politics aside, I don't care about all that stuff. I just care about the fact that I feel like I'm helping in some way, with clean energy. No matter your feelings on renewables or whatever, the simple fact is wind is a renewable. Solar also, it's a renewable resource, and we're not harming by utilizing it. And I think that's the important part for me is that I want to have a clean future if we can, with the environment. And I feel like I'm playing a very small part of it, but it's growing. I think the technology is going to continue to grow. And, like early oil and gas, it had to learn, it had to grow, it had to, and 100 years later, it's a main form of energy. The same thing with wind and solar and, battery storage and all these other, it's growing. The technology is going to change, and 25 years from now, hey, it might even be vastly different. And I love that. I love being a part of that. So, thank you for that. I appreciate you saying the same, kind of the same thought process. So what advice, and this is kind of coming back to women in energy and in engineering role, if that's okay. I'll finish with this is what advice would you share with a young woman or new engineers entering the renewable energy space today?
I'd say be curious, ask questions, and most of all, believe in yourself. The sector needs diverse perspective and fresh ideas. Surround yourself with supportive people and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. It won't be easy every day, but every challenge is a chance to grow. There is still much to be done in the renewable energy sector, so we are only at the beginning. So for sure, we will need you at the moment.
Definitely. I would, and again, this is coming more from a male's perspective, but if anybody's interested in it, there's going to be times I would say that you're going to fail. You're going to fall. And it might be cliche to say it, but just take whatever you stumbled over, put that on the stepping stone and use it as a block to continue building forward. So, challenge yourself to not let some sort of failure be like devastating. Make that failure be like, okay, I learned, and now I know better. Now I'm going to do even better. That's how I can look at it. But, Lorène, thank you for sharing your story, your insight, and your approach to engineering, especially with the empathy that you're bringing. Conversations like this remind us every part of a wind turbine, no matter how small it may be, has people behind it, making decisions that shape the performance and trust in that piece of equipment. And I personally am happy to see that Everaxis has you. And of course, we don't want to forget Martial, Jean-Baptiste. I mean, all these other people, they're behind it. And I know them and I trust them. And that's why I believe in this product and why I believe in Everaxis and what you guys have done. To our listeners, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this episode, please follow Kurz Wind Conversations on Spotify or YouTube. Let us know who else you'd like to hear from. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn at Kurz Wind Division. I believe Everaxis is also on LinkedIn, so you can reach out to them on there or learn more at kurz.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and keep the wind at your back. Thank you.